In 1492, Columbus discovered the Americas for Spain. Over the next several decades, other European countries would establish colonies in the New World. The consequences of Europeans discovering the Americas are far-reaching. Just one example is the Columbian Exchange, which we already discussed. For example, before 1492, no one anywhere in Europe, Africa, or Asia had ever eaten a potato or a tomato. This European settlement process included the establishment of the 13 colonies by the British. At first, the British were behind some of their European counterparts. However, they would rise to become a world power with colonies around the globe. The focus of this course has been the British colonies in North America, or the 13 colonies. For a variety of reasons, European colonists in the 13 colonies fought a successful revolution against the British government and created the United States of America. Although the United States would rise to become a superpower after 1945, the United States played a very small role in global affairs in the early years of the Republic. Compared to its size today, the United States was at first contained to this area. In 1803, President Thomas Jefferson purchased this area from Napoleon Bonaparte of France, almost doubling the size of the country. When James Monroe was president, the United States purchased Florida from Spain. These Texans fought a war against Mexico. Mexico had gained its independence from Spain around 1820. And in the 1820s and 30s, many Americans moved to Texas. They fought a war against Mexico and gained their independence. Yes, Texas was its own independent country for a short period of time. One of the reasons Americans in Texas went to war against Mexico was because Mexico outlawed slavery. But the Americans living in Texas wanted to protect slavery. There is much more to the story, but that is a direct link to our most recent unit of study. In the 1840s, Texas wanted to become part of the United States, and this officially happened in 1845. Now, Mexico and the United States did not agree on where Mexico ended and the state of Texas began. So this was disputed territory down here. This resulted in a war between the United States and Mexico. As a result of this war, the United States took this land from Mexico. Around the same time, there was a dispute between Great Britain and the United States over the boundary between Canada and the United States in this area. This was resolved by a treaty in 1846, and the area would become Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and part of Montana today. There were a few other parts of the modern United States that became part of the country through treaties. However, it is important to remember that millions of people already lived in the Americas before it was discovered and settled by Europeans. In fact, it is estimated that up to 10 million lived north of the Rio Grande River, or the modern United States and Canada. Even more lived south of the Rio Grande. The Indian tribes were not unified under one government. However, they traded goods and ideas with one another. This map shows a sampling of some of the many tribes that were already in existence long before Columbus. Rich and thriving cultures were already established prior to 1492. However, over the next century, these cultures were uprooted, and the number of Native Americans declined significantly. It is a tragic story and part of the focus of Unit 4.